The right to offend is not some pesky little part of freedom of speech that we have to put up with. It is the heart and soul and lungs of freedom of speech. It is the coursing lifeblood of human progress. It is the instigator of liberty and modernity and science and understanding. What a laughing stock today's student leaders are, that they can so casually dismiss the right to be offensive without realizing that their lovely, enlightened lives are the gift of individuals who gave offense. Offensiveness is not just something we have to begrudgingly accept. Offensiveness is the motor of human progress.
Now broadcasting from the Right to Offend Media Studios in sunny South Florida, bringing you the latest in politics, current events, art, and pop culture. This is the Whitfield Report Live with Sam Whitfield.
But giving offense is good. In fact, it's essential.
Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Whitfield Report, special St. Patrick's Day edition of the show. Hope everyone is doing well. I am your host, Sam Whitfield, broadcasting here live from Right to Offend Media studios here in South Florida. Happy St. Patrick's Day to all of you. And for those of you watching on Rumble and Odyssey, you can see here in my hand, I have the official beverage of the Whitfield Report, my favorite brew, Guinness Draft. And I do have also, ladies and gentlemen, my Guinness glass here. And I have a Guinness coaster here as well, and I'm going to attempt, ladies and gentlemen, as I've done before on the show, to do a perfect pour here as best I can on the program while doing the show, before kicking things off. It's going to be a casual stream here tonight, folks. Max and Mortheous should be joining momentarily, but I figured I would just get things started. So without further ado, let's crack the top here, shall we? So, okay. Not bad. So we crack the can open, and now, ladies and gentlemen, let's do the pour of the Guinness. So all of you folks can see here. I'm tilting at 45 degrees, and then once it reaches the harp here, gonna even it out. And yeah, there you have it. An almost perfect Guinness pour, I would say. Now I'm gonna let that go for a bit. And yeah, so gonna sip on that for a bit tonight. I usually don't drink on the show, but it is St. Patrick's Day, and it's also a little over 2 weeks until the launch of Night of the Vigilante, which I don't have my copy here with me at the moment, but I'm sure once the other guys get into the room here, I will grab that. So anyway, to any of you watching on Rumble or X, Odyssey, whatever. Cheers or Sláinte. And that is good. As always, perfect maltiness, a little bit of slight bitterness, but not too bad. It's I don't understand why people I understand why some people don't like Guinness, but if you like coffee and you like drinking coffee, like black especially, I don't understand why some of those people don't like Guinness, because that's what Guinness tastes like. It's like very kind of like sweet, natural coffee to me, at the very least. And maybe it is because I'm Irish that I like the Guinness so much, lads and lassies. I don't know, honestly. But mm, like I said before, that is a tasty beverage. And if you've read my other book series, Shadows of Deception, you all ought to know by now that Guinness is the preferred beverage of my main character in the series, John Ryder. So anyway, let's check in with chat real quick. See if anyone has showed up. And let's see. No one has appeared in the live chat quite yet. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and post once again that we're live. And yeah, so hopefully like I said, hopefully the guys at some point will join in for the for the show. Would love to have them. But in case they don't, and it's just a stream with us, ladies and gentlemen, I was thinking of saving this until Wednesday, but I decided, you know what, I'm not going to, because it is interesting. I mentioned on Bits and Bones last night, which is our gaming podcast. I mentioned on there that apparently Gavin Newsom, the governor of California, the failed governor of California, I might add, he's started a podcast, ladies and gentlemen. And I don't know why he started a podcast per se. He hasn't stated, but I have a theory as to why he's started a podcast, and I think it's because the left saw the success of Joe Rogan's podcast, and as I mentioned before, they think that the left thinks that the only reason why Trump won was because of the quote unquote toxic manosphere space, right? They still can't they still can't, even 4, 5, 6 months later, the left cannot accept that their policies, which are non-existent at this point, sucked. And they can't, and they can't accept that the woke ideology drove people away. So, they're not looking internally, but, they're looking at what is happening with podcasting, and they see the success of the Joe Rogan experience. And a lot of lefties are saying, well, that Joe Rogan guy and all these other podcasts that had Trump on the election, they're the reason why Trump won. And so if we can emulate it, then we could win. Right? Because that's what they're doing here. They're doing this thing where and the left has always done this to a certain extent, folks. Anytime a conservative does something that's like really successful, the left either tries to cancel them or they try and copy them. The most prevalent example that I can think of going back to the 90s and early 2000s was with Rush Limbaugh, right? The left hated Rush Limbaugh so much, so they tried to cancel him in the 90s. There was a 60 minutes story that was a total hit piece on him, and it never, went anywhere. And so, they tried all these, slanderous news pieces. They couldn't cancel him. And, cancel culture wasn't really even a thing back in the 90s, at least not the way we think of it now. But, Rush was kind of patient zero for, I guess, the left trying to cancel someone. Well, then in the 2000s, the left decided, okay, we'll stop, fighting Limbaugh and trying to get him canceled. But, I know what we'll do. We'll create this thing called Air America. And, Air America was basically like it was basically like the left wing talk radio network. So so whereas like there was Rush Limbaugh, Sean Hannity, and Mark Levin, I think you had like, I think Rachel Maddow like had a show, like a radio show on there. Keith Olbermann and, I can't remember who the third guy was, but point being, they tried to create like a talk radio network and it failed. Now the left did, and I've chronicled this before. They were successful with social media for a long time, whereas conservatives could not figure out like for 2 election cycles. During the entire Obama administration, conservatives could not figure out like what social media even was. It was a foreign, alien entity to them, and it bit us in the ass in both 2008 and 2012, respectively. That all changed, of course, in 2016, right? But then Trump's latest, comeback with the 2024 election, podcasting and independent media was a huge part of that. And not just for Trump, but also for people like, Bobby Kennedy Jr. and Tulsi Gabbard, people who, both of whom would eventually end up, joining the Trump administration, right? And then you also had, again, I mentioned, obviously Joe Rogan is, the most prevalent, I guess, voice in the podcasting spirit, but you also have people like Theo Vaughn and, the All In podcast and everyone else, inviting Trump on, having these in-depth 2-3 hour interviews, and same with JD Vance, and it really personalized them. And so the Democrats, like I said, they saw this. They see that the legacy media isn't working anymore. They tried at the 11th hour to get into the podcasting game with Kamala Harris, and it didn't work. So now their strategy is, well, we're going to do podcasting. And Gavin Newsom is going to be our Rush Limbaugh, which to me that doesn't really make sense, because like, putting all the jokes about Gavin being a greaseball aside, Gavin Newsom is a politician, right? First and foremost, he's not he's not a podcaster, right? And also, Gavin Newsom in particular, he comes off as like a used carsman, as a used car salesman type sleazebag, right? That's his whole persona, literally, is like a used car salesman guy. So, but for some reason he's decided to do this podcast, and I guarantee you, like, this is him, like, already gearing up for, 2028. If you don't think this is him, if you think he's just doing a podcast because he wants to do a podcast, I guarantee you're wrong. Now, Gavin Newsom he's basically the de facto leader of the Dems at this point, right? Kamala Harris screwed the pooch on that. Joe Biden, for all we know, could be, dead. He's not around. We mentioned a few weeks ago that David Hogg, he's already been dismissed from being vice chair of the DNC as quickly as he is, because he was embezzling money from the Democrat Party. Right? So as far as like Democrat Party figureheads, Gavin Newsom is pretty much the guy. And which is kind of fitting, because Gavin Newsom is, a sleazebag, and the entire Democrat Party at this point is filled with sleazebags. So but Gavin Newsom, I will say this: he might be a sleazebag, but he's not an entirely unintelligent one. He is smart and he is savvy, because he launched this podcast, right? And who is one of his first guests, ladies and gentlemen? Well, let me show you, ladies and gentlemen, because it kind of shocked me that he decided to do this. Although once he did it, and kind of upon further reflection, it makes sense that he started off this podcast this way. But he decided to invite on for his first podcast guest Charlie Kirk of Turning Point USA. Now, folks familiar with the the history of my show, anyone who knows me fairly well knows that I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of Charlie Kirk out there. And a lot of that admittedly has to do with the fact that he's he kind of screwed over some of my friends who were working at Turning Point USA personally. And there's some dirty laundry there that I'm not going to get to on air because it's not appropriate, but suffice it to say, I don't necessarily have the like highest personal regard for Charlie Kirk, but I will say this: Turning Point USA is it is a decent organization. As far as like getting like young conservatives on college campuses mobilized and et cetera, et cetera. And also, whether I like or not, Charlie Kirk does have a, big media, footprint. And so Gavin Newsom invited Charlie Kirk on. And I haven't seen this podcast yet, but I do kind of want to go over it and kind of, analyze a bit in parts and kind of do a live reaction to this. But I know why Gavin invited Charlie Kirk on, right? And it's because Charlie Kirk is the baby boomer, the baby boomers' idea of being like an edgy conservative, which I know sounds like absurdly hilarious and absurd to anyone in the millennial or in Gen Z or even Gen X category, but it's true. Charlie Kirk, he does have these great conservative sound bites, and the boomers think, oh, this young man is edgy, right? So he's their idea of like an edgy conservative, but he still plays like really safe and and within the lines. And so, and Gavin knows that, right? So, Charlie is kind of like a liberal's idea of like safe edgy. He's edgy, to some, but he's very safe. And basically when I see this thumbnail here, ladies and gentlemen, basically this specific episode could be called A Tale of Two Grifters. Because that's what I see here, ladies and gentlemen. I see two grifters on a stage together, right? And so what I'm gonna do is let's I've not watched this, ladies and gentlemen. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to click on this, and I'm sure that we will be I'm sure there will be ads, but I'll skip those, and we're gonna watch this and see what happens, right? So okay, skip ad.
And this is Charlie Kirk. All right. Charlie Kirk. What the hell are you doing here? By the way, what brings you to California, your favorite state?
It is this thing's falling. It is my favorite state in the union. You're doing such a great job here, by the way. No, I'm honored to be on the show. Thank you. And
you were just down at USC?
I was at USC yesterday, drew a big crowd.
By the way, I knew you were at USC early because my niece, who's graduating.
She was the one with the MAGA hat on.
She was, by the way, I do have to watch, but she was down there and she was like, she said,
you never know. These kids are going to the right.
I'm aware. She said, this crowd's crazy. He said, and the only reason she said, she would have said it perhaps otherwise, but she knew you were coming on. The worst part though, Charlie, no BS, true story. Literally last night, trying to put my son to bed. He's like, no, Dad, what time? What time's Charlie going to be here? What time? And I'm like, dude, you're in school tomorrow. He's 13. He's like, no. This morning, wakes up at 6 something. He's like, I'm coming. I'm like, he literally would not leave the house.
Did you let him take off school?
No, he did. Of course not. He's not here for a good reason. But the point is,
you canceled school for like 2 years. One day.
The point is the point, which is you are making the reality of our party and where we are today, vis-a-vis your ascendancy, not just individually as an organization. But where was that sort of moment for you?
Years. And we
appreciate that. I mean, it's the reason you're here, because I think people need to understand your success.
To take off school?
No, he did. Of course not. He's not here for a good reason. But the point is,
you canceled school for like 2 years. One day.
The point is the point.
So we're already, 2 minutes and 50. We're already, 2 minutes and 50 seconds in, and I'm already seeing just absolute sleazeball smarminess, from Gavin here, and he absolutely, he's gotten in spades. He is very charming, though. I will say that, but so is Ted Bundy.
Which is, you are making a damn dent.
Thank you. I'm kidding.
But I appreciate that. I mean, it's the reason you're here, because I think people need to understand your success, your influence, what you've been up to, and the fact that you're on these college campus tours. And to your point, man, you just open up. I mean, you're like, ask me anything. Challenge me, whatever. When did this whole thing, when did you start putting this together?
I've been at this for 13 years, and it's been a wild movement, really accelerated once President Trump kind of came on the scene. Right around, I'd say 2021, we had a goal. Could we move the youth vote 10 points over 10 years? And
was it literally you sat down and put that numerical together?
Yeah, like, can we move it 10 points over 10 years? Ish, approximate. Yeah. Because our whole hypothesis was, and we did this alongside President Trump and his great team, was that this demographic is disproportionately to the Democrat side. We believe Democrats were taking them for granted. We think that your side had no message whatsoever and an ideological monopoly. We saw some of the fault lines there. And to President Trump's credit, he also harmonized with the strategy by going on podcasting and using TikTok. But yeah, I mean, we did it in 4 years, not 10, large in part thanks to you guys.
And we'll get to that. And I sincerely get to that, because I want to stress test some of those fault lines as relates to the reality of our party and where we are today, vis-a-vis your ascendancy, not just individually as an organization. But where was that sort of moment for you? Because it's interesting. I mean, you're such a young guy, so it's not like deep biography here. It's not like 20 years in the wilderness, writing his first book, getting a TV show that was canceled, coming back. It's more just this immediacy of ascendancy. Were you always, you're sort of born and bred with an ideological mindset, or were you more open-minded and you started to realize a lot of BS was out there?
Yeah, I've always been conservative. Obviously grown in that over the last, 10-ish years. Was more libertarian, I'd say, in the first couple of years, as to be expected. As I got married and have kids, become more conservative. But no, look, just one of the things we saw in the last couple of years that the Democrats completely ignored, and your side was basically not acknowledging was happening, was the crisis that young people were experiencing.
Right.
That, it's the first time in America's history that a 30-year-old is going to have it worse off than their parents.
Right.
It's a breakdown of the social compact.
That's right.
They are the most alcohol addicted, most drug addicted, most suicidal, most depressed, most medicated generation in history.
Right.
And the message that was largely being fed to a lot of young people was lower your expectations. You're not going to have the same American dream that your parents would have. Mm-hmm. And we saw this as an opportunity, especially with young men. And again, this got ridiculed a lot by the press that, they're creating this manosphere thing. Look, they're half of the population and necessary for any society and civilization to succeed, which is to have both strong men and strong women.
Yeah.
And we went about that in a very unique and creative way. And again, the president became a cultural phenomenon, where no matter what you threw at this guy, he rose above it. And you would even have to give him credit. I mean,
100%.
facing 700 years in federal prison, states tried to kick him off the ballot. I know you spoke out against it, but California did have a faction that tried to kick him off the ballot, right?
That's right.
And despite all of that, of course, being shot, and that was kind of the crescendo of all of it, he kind of became this figure of an American comeback story.
Yep.
So he personified what a lot of young people, especially young men, wanted back in their politics.
Okay, so one thing I want to point out here, and I'm going to jump forward here a little bit in parts. Like I said, I'm not. My goal is not to play the entire thing, but one thing I'm noticing, right? Newsom is really trying to play himself off as the, he's trying to play himself off as the party moderate Democrat. He's not a moderate Democrat by any means whatsoever, ladies and gentlemen, but he damn sure is, trying to be. And so, what do you have right now? Well, Charlie Kirk is going over his story and kind of where the Republicans, kind of how Trump won. And Gavin is doing the thing where he's nodding and saying yes a lot, basically. He's smiling, he's looking very, agreeable, right? And so he's not, screaming and foaming at the mouth like a lot of these social justice, like a lot of these far left, characters are now, right? He's, he's kind of doing the whole, he's Bill Clinton, essentially. He's charming. And he's really using that to his advantage. So I kind of get that that's what's going on right now. And so I'm curious, let's go farther ahead. And, I'm just going to pick a timestamp. And I'm going to jump like 5 minutes and pick up from there. Right?
With a card table and a big cardboard sign saying, "Debate me." Like here's some provocative
So you're 20-something years
and
old?
I wouldn't even film it. I was 18 or 19.
18 or 19.
Yeah.
And by the way, where does that end? And sincerely, to be able to debate anybody at any time, anywhere, and in that environment, it's you can say it's just confidence or it's just absolute, narcissism. What is it?
Well, I hope it's not the other. But no, I guess it would just be, at the most charitable reading, it could be confidence. It'd also be just,
some would argue with Charlie Kirk specifically, it is narcissism. Some people might say that. Again, some people could say, it is confident, like if you're being charitable. But again, Gavin is being very agreeable here, so he's positioning himself as, like I said, the moderate Democrat. Okay. Let's jump further ahead. Shall we? Because
introducing Hydra Studio and Character 3.
The most powerful.
Or you don't trust institutions. And this has been largely inverted the last 20 years.
Right.
So back in the early 2000s, Democrats were low trust of institutions, Iraq War, anti-Bush, anti-NSA, anti-Patriot Act. And that's when you guys had a lot of activist spark and energy. That has been completely inverted. So the right is now low trust of institutions, where the left is high trust of institutions. We're the ones that challenge the COVID vaccine. We're the ones that think that public health authorities might have lied to us during COVID.
Right.
We're the ones that don't necessarily believe the government when it says that we should keep on sending money to Ukraine. Again, that's a general rule. There are some exceptions to that.
Right.
But when you go to college, you are trained to trust the experts, trust the scientists, trust the people that are leaders of authority. And the Democrat Party is largely the gatekeepers of that kind of ideological and intellectual regime.
It's interesting. And so from your perspective, as you advocate for people to sort of open up a worldview that is life without a 4-year degree and all the opportunities that present themselves anew in that respect, are you arguing for the disestablishment, the end of higher education?
I think it's going to happen no matter what. And in 10 years, artificial intelligence is going to change everything.
Yeah.
And I don't know what these 4 years.
But by the way, I want to point something out here, and I've said this before. One of my biggest beefs with Charlie Kirk and why he kind of irks me is, apart from, again, putting aside what happened between him and some of my friends who were unfairly terminated from Turning Point. One of my biggest kind of gripes about Charlie Kirk, and I have brought this up to him directly, right? So it's not like I'm just talking crap about him. But one thing I have brought up to him directly is the fact that he essentially made his bones off of going to, off of college campus activism with Turning Point USA and mobilizing college students. And now he's talking about, wanting to dissolve college campuses and dissolve the university system altogether, which, by the way, that's never going to happen, ladies and gentlemen. I do think higher ed is very messed up. Obviously, there are aspects of, just like K through 12 education and then a higher education that need to be gutted from the inside out and restructured. But I think this whole idea of, getting rid of college campuses altogether, I think is absolutely ridiculous and absurd. But my biggest gripe with Charlie Kirk, and he has kind of tried to, dance around this a bit as near as I can tell. But my biggest gripe with Charlie Kirk is the fact that he himself never attended college, right? It's not like he went to college and then dropped out, or went to college and failed it, and flunked out, or, anything like that. It's that he didn't go to college at all, right? And yet he's bad mouthing college in almost the same way that like a regretful graduate would. And for something like, college, and I'm wearing my USF colors today. I'm wearing my USF t-shirt, Go Bulls. I'm an alumni. I had a good experience, in college. For the most part, I had my struggles, but it was overall positive for me, right? So Okay, apparently my mic got muted. So that was embarrassing. Anyway, what was I saying? I don't know where I got cut off, but anyway, as I was saying, ladies and gentlemen, or trying to say, my biggest critique with Charlie Kirk in what he's bringing up college campuses is he wants to he kind of wants to resolve the college campus system while simultaneously like he wants to dismantle the college system, but he himself has never gone to college. And I do think college does have its benefits, ladies and gentlemen. And so Shmuel and I have both talked about that before, right? We we both went to college and we were both conservatives on college campus, and it was not easy for either of us, but we made it work. And at least for me, I think college was certainly a benefit, and it did challenge my viewpoints in ways, ladies and gentlemen, that I hadn't really thought of before. Right? And so Charlie mentions in this clip that he wants to, that he thinks that colleges are going to collapse in 10 years anyway because of AI. And there is certainly something to be said for that, maybe. But people also predicted like 40 years ago that because of personal computing, colleges would collapse. And then, guess what happened? Higher education just ended up adapting personal computing, right? They're going to do the same with AI, and colleges are not going to go away anytime soon. They're just not, ladies. So continuing on, and by the way, hello to Joe and to Roman, and yeah, no, I don't know what happened to Max and Mortheous. We were supposed to have a whole panel together, but apparently it's just me tonight. Joe, if you want the link, let me know and I'll DM it to you on Twitter. But if you can't, if you've got the kids, or something, I understand that too. But yeah, so Charlie has the cockamamie idea that he wants to, that like higher ed is going to disappear, and Gavin is just being a charming slime ball as always.
Your degrees are actually doing to prepare these kids for that. But no, as far as like, am I advocating for the end of the pursuit of learning? Of course not. That's one of my big critiques, is that at a lot of these schools, they're not pursuing what is good, true, and beautiful. It's become the oppression Olympics and a weaponized complaint seminar of people sitting in the circle and finding out who's been offended the most that day. That's not doing anybody any good.
No.
And in fact, it creates a very weak political movement, which I think plays into one of the reasons why we were able to steamroll you guys back in November, is that once there's a little opposition against a group of people that have never actually been, had to build the muscle mass of a very difficult and unpredictable world, whereas those of us that are conservatives, we're insulted all the time. So think about the experience of a kid on a college campus. They say they're graded differently because of their views. They may or may not be right. I think they are. But they're definitely in the ideological minority, right? You wear a Trump hat on a college campus, at least until we came around. That was like a big sign of cultural rebellion. So you have two choices. You can either stop fighting for what you believe in, or you become really tough.
Yeah.
And you create that muscle that allows you to then carry and shoulder a heavier burden.
Right. And so just, and I don't want to belabor the issues of the establishment plot called higher education, as some have, not you, referred to it, though maybe you align yourself.
I wrote a whole book called The College Scam.
So it's sort of,
again, I think that book is kind of BS because, again, he's never gone to college. And you can say, oh, Sam, he might not have gone to college, but he makes some good points about how college was a scam. He might have. But that's like me, ladies and gentlemen, just to
Hello,
make
Mr. Sam.
Just make the point. That's like me writing a book, Evening Tim. That's like me writing a book about, like, running a marathon without ever having ran a marathon before. So yeah, that's my biggest critique of Charlie Kirk here, is specifically when it comes to higher education, is he's critiquing it without ever having done it himself. Tim, how are you doing tonight, sir?
I'm good. I'm on lunch break.
Oh, okay. So you're just on break right now, then?
Yep. Just kind of hanging out.
Awesome.
Just want to go ahead and say hello. I mean, this is St. Patty's Day.
It is, and in Sláinte to you, good sir. So,
Wish I have a drink, but unfortunately, I don't think it would be a good idea to be around having a drink while I'm at work.
well, I mean, St. Patty's Day is falling on a Monday, too, so, that always makes things a bit, interesting. But, anyway, so I'm going over this whole, podcast with, Charlie Kirk and Gavin Newsom, which I hadn't seen before, but I'm kind of watching in real time. But Tim, I mean, you mentioned Charlie Kirk on Bits and Bones last night, so what is kind of your opinion of Charlie Kirk as a whole?
I mean, there are some things that he gets right and some things that he gets wrong. I mean, I might have actually said some pretty harsh things, which, whatever. But I really do believe that some of the new right just seem like they get, like, way too, like, much more bigger for their own britches. They get way too prideful. They get way too more arrogant, and
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, I mean, I don't think you've said anything any more harsh than I've said. I mean, like I said a minute ago, like I think I think he's a grifter, and I think kind of the fact that he's that he's complaining about college, and he's made a kind of a whole career off of pointing out the flaws of higher education, which, again, some of them may be valid, for sure. I'm not saying that he's completely wrong on everything, but the fact that he never went to college, right? And, he'll say, oh, that makes me smart. Well, that might be the case if he were, like, in a trade school or something like that, right? But he never went to college, and then his whole entire business is going on college campuses to promote conservatism. So to me, it just
that's
seems
true.
So to me, it just seems like deeply hypocritical and kind of like stupid, to be honest, to be like, critiquing something that you've never, participated in yourself, honestly. So
There is a huge distinction. There's a huge distinction of like, hey, I think there could have been better things, like especially for people to do in the trade schools rather than into college, because I do believe that college it kind of it's a good thing for some, but it's also sometimes a bad thing for others.
Yeah. Roman in chat goes, yeah, he goes to college every day. Well, that's true, Dip. But like he's not an actual student. So like, Charlie Kirk is basically the guy who is like, who's in his 30s, and he's in his 30s. And he basically he wants to go to college. Pretty much for just the chicks at this point. And although he says he's faithfully married, I don't know. But yeah. And Joe, I see your thing, so I will send you the link to join, sir. So let me copy the link here. But yeah, it's just it's ridiculous, and then so you have Charlie Kirk, who's kind of being a grifter, and then you have Gavin Newsom here. His whole bit is like he's trying to appear like he's Mr. Moderate, Democrat all of a sudden now. So let's see. And okay, I'm sending the link now, Joe. And there you go, sir. You should have it.
Mort. A wild Mort appears.
Oh shit! Now the group shows up. Happy
Sorry about
Saint.
that, Sammy. I laid down and passed out for like a half hour.
Yeah, well, I mean, you have the excuse, to pass out. So, what what excuse does Max have? Actually, he probably has like a really good one.
Probably dad reasons.
Yeah. Well, either that or he has Irish reasons, which just means
Yeah, that too.
Yeah. But anyway, so I was just watching this. I've been watching kind of this cringe interview with between Gavin Newsom and Charlie Kirk, and it's basically just like two grifters, like pretending to have like a polite conversation with each other.
Holy fuck! So, Charlie Kirk looks old in this.
Yeah, I mean he's only 2 years. Charlie Kirk is only like 2 years older than I am, and yeah, he's
Fuck, he looks older than me.
Like I don't want to, I don't want to dox you more, but like I think, I've seen what you look like, and yeah, for sure, he does look older than you. Yeah. So, and then
for the audience that doesn't know, I'm 41.
Yeah.
How old is this ass clown?
He's like 32.
So.
30, yeah, he's like
fuck
32.
him. He's a millennial bitch.
Yeah,
and yeah, you're right. He is an asswipe, Sam. By the way, that's what I want to come in and say, that he is an asswipe.
Yeah, well,
but you'll find that a lot on the right.
Well, I mean, so I can't really get into like too many specific details, but like,
we don't have all night.
Well, I can't get into too many specific details for non-disclosure reasons, but essentially he fired. So like two of my friends used to be like, they used to be like very high up in Turning Point USA's hierarchy, and basically, like they weren't fired, but they weren't like fired, but they were laid off, and the reason
unceremoniously let go.
Yeah, and the reason they were all
Go get in your bed.
and the reason they were all unnecessarily let go, well, it's because in
All right, I
granted,
got to peace out, y'all. Have a good day. Happy Monday and happy St. Patrick's Day.
You too, Timmy.
You too, Tim. Happy St. Patrick's Day to you too, sir.
Timmy.
The reason why my friends were let go was because of allegedly jealousy over girlfriends and et cetera, et cetera. So
That's a bitch move.
yeah. So I can't really get into much more than that, but yeah, it was super petty, and
That sounds super faggy.
yeah, and all of the people who, just word of advice, all of the people like on the right especially, who tend to like especially like advertise that they're like some higher standard of like sexual morality or
They're all
something
fucking
like that.
degens.
Yeah, usually all of them are like the most degen people ever. And as much as more I give like Horny Craig shit, like he is more moral than any of these other like like NoFap or TradCap.
And that's why all of these fucking fags on the right that when the sexual scandals do come out, why it's so goddamn damaging, because they pretend to be moral fags.
Yeah, well, let me I'm gonna I mean, we're not all watching this, so I guess I'll switch back to, but I guess for me, like one of the things that really kind of annoys me is like, so I don't know if you've ever watched like if you've ever watched the Hodge Twins podcast or whatnot, right?
I have.
But as I understand it, they used to be like big on like the NoFap, thing or whatever, right?
Right.
But then like the last two guests they've had, so like 2 weeks ago they had Brandy Love on, who's a porn star who's also conservative, right? And so I didn't, and I that's the episode actually that I should watch, but like Gavin's more news, like more people have wanted me to, to review the Gavin, and Charlie podcast, right? But they had Brandy Love, which okay, maybe they had a good conversation. I'll take them, I'll give them that benefit of the doubt. But then they had Andrew Tate, right? I guess like yesterday or something. And so like to me that's just a big like red flag, because
giant red flag.
Yeah, it's a giant red flag, because you can't say guys shouldn't do NoFap or or whatever they say, and then two of your guests back to back are a conservative like MILF porn star, and then Andrew Tate, who is like who's allegedly like a sexual trafficker and porn and illegal pornographer too. So and a sex trafficker allegedly. So it's stuff like that.
Not so much it's a red flag. I would almost consider that a fucking black flag.
Oh yeah, for sure. But that's my whole point. More is like, these more people on the left are like, they're full of like black flags and red flags. So, yeah.
I think that's part of the reason why I was attracted to eventually voting for Trump is the man has his faults, the man admits his faults. A lot of the fucking moral fags on the right don't.
Yeah. Yeah, well, and then like you see a lot of the moral fags are like, and I saw this today actually. Like Andrew Tate is, I guess, begging for an invite to the White House, and I know that there are people like trying to pressure, Trump to do it, but I don't think he is going to do it, especially after he got after he got a whole bunch of flack for inviting Kanye to the White House, and look at how well that turned out, right?
Right.
And
and if you ask me, fucking Kanye is the safer of the two.
Well, right. Well, yeah, totally for sure. One thing I will give Trump. I mean, I'll give him a lot anyway, but like one thing that he wasn't good is one thing that he wasn't good at before was like he wasn't good at like I think he was a little too trustworthy of like people around him, and I think it kind of messed him up. Whereas like now, he'll tell people no. And when he says no, like or not, like it's kind of his final word. So like I think he's a lot more savvier now. I think he's a lot less trustworthy of people, but like in a good way. And so yeah, like I think he's probably going to tell like Tate to, F off, probably.
Fuck off, pound sand, and stay in fucking Romania, you fucking bastard.
Yeah. I mean like he, the Tates came to Florida, but like, like even Ron DeSantis was kind of like, yeah, I mean, I guess they're like legally allowed to be here, but like, I don't really want them, like, I don't really want them here. So, yeah.
Technically British citizens and not citizens of the U.S.
Well, yeah. That's the other thing too. Is like, what is up with like all these Brits and like Europeans coming over here and like latching on to Trump? It's like, yeah, I know the UK is shit, right now, but it's like, shouldn't you guys at the very least be like trying to like
save your own fucking country?
Yeah. Yeah, totally. Like I know, and I know conservative Brits too, conservative by our standards, but like they're not, they're not big enough figures to like really, have any influence over there. And
That's
also,
how much Europe sucks.
Yeah. So, anyway, yeah, let's,
well, isn't that the thing, Sam? Like, they're all like leaders of an individual small country. Trump is different. America's different. We're a giant landmass, and they're like each individual entity, and they have to figure it out themselves over there. They're across the big pond.
We're basically 50 individual countries under one banner, technically.
Technically, yeah.
Well, I mean, America is, I know this is kind of cliche, right? Like America is a melting pot, right? And we have like each section of the US like has its own territories and like its own personalities, but like when the shit hits the fan, like most notably after like 9/11, in my lifetime at least,
We come together and fucking kick ass.
Yeah, we come together and kick ass. I would also say the same. Actually, minus like the radical left, there were even like a lot of Democrats who weren't insane, who like rallied around and after the Trump assassination attempt and said, this was fucked up and should have never happened, right? So like,
Right.
most sane Americans will like rally around, the right thing when it comes down, to it. So,
I agree with that. And that's why I think all the talking heads like Don Lemon need to shut up and quit speaking for a giant group of, like, you say a black person can't be a Republican. That's a ridiculous statement. You can't speak for a large group.
And racist as fuck.
Yeah,
because you're morally corrupt as you already are. You fucking whatever you are, dude.
Yeah, well, and so that's why, like, even a lot of my friends from high school who like were, a lot of my friends who were black in high school, like they looked up to Obama, like when they were teenagers because like he was the first black president, and
he was the dude until the mask got ripped off.
He was the dude. And of course, like I never bought into that, but like I also like I understood the optics, first black president. Well, that's going to be a good thing. And then they saw that the mask got ripped off, and they were like, "Oh, Sam was right all along." And that was like one of those moments where like instead of saying like, "Ha ha, I was right all along," I was like, well, I'm
come over here and have a conversation.
Yeah, I'm, like I was curious, like what was it that made you change your opinion? And a lot of them were like, well, a lot of it was COVID, and a lot of it was also, a lot of it was also I didn't sign up for all the gay shit in society either. So,
holy gay shit.
Yeah, well, I mean, like if you think about it though, Joe, all the LGBTQ stuff really stems from like white affluent, like
white women,
really like upper middle class, like waspy, society. Like you're clearly not. You and Max clearly aren't it because like you guys are working class, right? And then like Mort and I both aren't either.
Right, and those upper class cities that you're talking about happen to be Democrat strongholds.
Yeah,
oh yeah,
and I guess you could classify myself and my family as like upper middle class, kind of. The best way I can describe ourselves, because we didn't really want for anything, but we weren't particularly rich either.
Right. I mean, that's how I grew up, right? But like, at least on my dad's side, and my stepdad on my mom's side, like he ran a successful carpentry business. We never won for anything, but like we we weren't part of the 1%.
We had to pinch pennies from time to time, but then again, if we wanted, it was generally something that wasn't really quote unquote needed.
But we weren't like we weren't part of like the 1% that could like
right.
That never won for anything, and so therefore their kid being trans or whatever is like is a miracle mile or whatnot, right? it doesn't, make sense, but that's just how the left, I guess, rolls these days. Right? It's bizarre. And then, like I said, you have Gavin Newsom, like he's trying to play Mr. Moderate here. More
he's Nancy fucking Pelosi's what nephew by marriage or some fucking shit. So
yeah,
that's in no way, shape, or form a fucking moderate at all.
Yeah, well, I mean, so I'm not going to go back. I'm not going to go back because you haven't missed anything. This is basically just like the entire conversation is him basically like trying to like suck up to Charlie Kirk, and like people say that Charlie Kirk is a good debater, and he's good at saying stuff, but I don't think he doesn't come off to me as someone who knows when he's being like conned either. Say
it's sort of that or stress testing that in the context of some would argue the contra argument is $1 million more in lifetime earnings, more likely to get married, less likely to get divorced, more likely to be civically engaged, and longer life spans.
Look, you're not actually going.
God, I hate YouTube ads.
Yeah, it's a dude.
Okay.
All of those is true. It's just not everyone that goes to college graduates. The national graduation
41%
rate.
drop.
Yeah, 41% dropout. Exactly right. Also, half the kids that graduate college will not even end up using their degree.
That's true.
When it comes to the affiliated jobs. So the numbers are true at the highest income. So about 10% of kids that go to college stretch out the averages to be really, really high.
Got it.
And so, for example, you go to Caltech to study computer engineering and applied AI.
Next
man,
level.
You're crushing it, right? You go to Cal to go study North African lesbian poetry.
Yeah.
Like,
is that an actual degree there?
You tell me, Governor.
I don't know. I mean, we funded, but I'm not sure that's one of the courses.
Fact you don't know?
Well, I don't know every single damn course.
I know. It should be like, no
largest
way. But if the fact it's a maybe, we got some problems.
Well, the fact that a lot of people have explored different disciplines.
That's fine. It's just a test.
Again, he, like I said at the beginning, and I know you gentlemen missed this, but he does have snake charmer energy. I will give him that. Yeah.
Which one?
Well, Gavin, I will say this: Gavin has more charisma than Charlie Kirk does. And so, like, yeah, that's the thing. Like, people, like, I've already seen like some people being like, Gavin comes off at, he might not be that bad, and I'm like,
he's got the Pelosi gene. You can fuck off with that.
I'm like, yeah, he's got the Saul Goodman, snake charmer, used car salesman thing going. Like, also though, people do have really short attention spans these days. And so, like he's doing the whole, shucks, I don't know how bad the schools in my state are, but oh shucks, oh gee whiz, I guess I'll have to look into that.
And that's the problem. If he doesn't know how bad, and that's the thing. If he doesn't know how bad the state, schools in his state are, he's not fucking paying attention.
Right. But anyway, so like I said, I'm not gonna go into I'm gonna jump around here. So I guess 23 minutes in. Let's see if this goes anywhere.
I totally agree with you. By the way, as someone with 4 kids, I think
and 2 daughters, right?
2 daughters,
and I have a daughter too,
and a wife that went, God forbid, to Stanford and played on the junior national soccer team, and a guy who got into college only because I was left-handed and could throw a baseball a little bit or hit the ball for a little bit. So I revere sports, and so the issue of fairness is completely legit. And I saw that the last couple of years. Boy, did I saw how you guys were able to weaponize that issue at another level.
Not weaponize. That's
well, weaponize may be pejorative. You're right, but you were able to
shine a light on,
highlight it in a way that, frankly, There are not that many. We're talking about, I think, the NC2A, what, 510,000? No, but I just didn't realize.
It's 890 medals and trophies that we know of in the last 5 years. That's a lot.
No, so let me step back, say completely fair on the issue of fairness. I completely agree. So that's easy to call out, the unfairness of that. There's also a humility and a grace, that these poor people are more likely to commit suicide, have anxiety and depression. And the way that people talk down to vulnerable communities is an issue that I have a hard time with.
Your fucking party, Gavin?
Both things I can hold in my.
Okay, so this is actually one of the clips that I guess went viral a few days ago. They're talking at the trans, gender and sports thing. And
right.
So apparently the big revelation was supposed to be that Gavin is somehow rebuking the wokeness of the left on this position, but I'm not hearing that at all here.
Yeah, no.
And this is specifically the part that people wanted me to review. And I know it took me an hour nearly to get there, but say la vie. But yeah, you guys just heard it there. I mean, that didn't sound necessarily like a rebuke of the LGBT again.
He didn't rebuke, and he also was like, "Yeah, you guys weaponized it."
Yeah, that sounded to me is
so what?
You guys weren't playing fair, and how do we bend over backwards to make this group happy?
Right. Well, again, like I said, Gavin is absolutely crafty at, he is very slick with his wording and the way he, not even so much his wording, but the way he says something, his mannerism and his presentation. So.
He's a politician. You have to be like this to be a politician. They're all like that.
Well, I mean,
and that's why Trump's so refreshing is he doesn't speak like a politician. He doesn't speak from both sides of his fucking mouth like this fuck does.
Yeah, well, I mean, most of them are like that, but then like Trump, as much as even I sometimes roll my eyes at Trump sometimes, Trump, he, and Moore can speak to this probably better than I can as an actual New York guy, but Trump is your Brooklyn wise guy who, he might be crass and he might not use the best language all the time, but he's gonna tell you what is on his mind, damn it, and you're gonna listen to it. You might not fucking like what he says.
Exactly, Sam. He's the typical New Yorker that's gonna tell you exactly what's on his mind, how he knows how to say it, and he's gonna tell you where to shit as he's done.
Yeah, and I mean, and people appreciate that type of brutal honesty, and so if and like I said at the very beginning of the show, Gavin Newsom having a podcast, all of this is the Democrats' reaction to, because I don't know if either of you have read any of the opinion pieces from the left since the election, but the left essentially thinks that Trump going on Joe Rogan is the reason why Trump won the election single-handedly.
If that's
Democrats are retards, right?
Then Kamala fucking refusing to go on Joe Rogan did the same thing.
Well, I do know that, Joe, but that's kind of my whole point though, is yes, we know they're retarded, and we know that that that's ridiculous.
They're more retarded than Max is.
But the
damn.
But the but that but
I can say that because he calls himself retarded.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah, he does. Yeah,
they just don't see it. They just don't see it, Sam. I get it. They think they hold the moral high ground on everything.
And it's also it's their coping mechanism, right? So like,
Yeah.
so their whole and they did the same thing with Rush Limbaugh in the 90s, right? So what they're doing now is they're basically trying to make, I guess, Gavin their Joe Rogan, now, which is hilarious because
Well, they already have a Joe Rogan in Adam Carolla. He's their guy. He'll defend Democrats to a degree. He already took down Gavin. I don't know how this guy ever got in office after that conversation.
Well, no, I mean Adam Carolla is actually like Adam Carolla has been conservative for a while though.
Well, yeah. I mean, at first he was like, and then he started. Didn't he kind of like start waking up and realizing that they're all shitheads?
Yeah. So did Joe though. Joe was a liberal until like they started like pushing all the Gamergate stuff in like 2014 and all the cultural weirdness, right?
And I think it affected Joe Rogan too with the trans athletes because he knows about that situation, like what muscle mass with guys and girls and how they're different. Like you can't debate him on that.
Got it mixed up there, Joe. Adam Carolla's not the crazy ass lefty liberal. It's fucking Jimmy Kimmel.
Oh yeah, that's true. There was at one point I knew about Adam Carolla, and I always thought he was kind of a Hollywood dick. But then, kind of looking into it, a couple years into it, I was like, yeah, he's really not that bad.
Well, I mean, it is understandable why you might think that, why you might confuse Jimmy Kimmel and Adam Carolla because they did work together.
They did work together on that terrible show.
Hey, I mean, the man
was fucking hilarious.
The man, hey, look, I mean, never forget the trampoline girls
jumping on trampoline. Yeah, I remember.
And in fact, Lord, that's gonna be my next thing in Craig's group chat. I'm just gonna bombard the group with that.
With trampoline girls?
Yeah. Yeah, my goal in 2025 is to make Craig admit publicly that he's a simp. I know it's impossible.
I approve of this mission.
But but they also said that Trump, winning the election both times was impossible. And as we have discovered since then, nothing is impossible, damn it. So yeah. But no, yeah, back to this. This was not a rebuke that I heard, but maybe
a hand. How can we address this issue with the kind of decency that I think is inherent in you, but not always expressed on the issue?
No, I get it.
At the same time, deal with the unfairness.
So you asked a good faith question, like how do we Democrats get out of the wilderness?
Yeah.
This one is an 80-20 issue. New York Times poll, right? That's
I agree with you. We're getting crushed on.
Crushed. And you have an opportunity in the state to be like, look, I have a heart for A.B. Hernandez. I have a heart for the San Jose volleyball player.
Yeah.
Let's give them compassion. What's not fair is just for like entire woman's sports.
I agree. By the way, I agree with you. And it's interesting. I stress tested this trial.
Oh my God, this is cringeworthy.
In California, and I've been a leader in the LGBTQ space, as you know, back in 2004, was marrying same-sex couples. And I know we have different opinion on marriage equality. And so I've been at this for years and years. I take a backseat to no one. But I was actually on the issue of sports, which in the last few years has just exploded. Trying to understand the 10 athletes in the NC2A, 510,000 athletes, but 10 athletes, and but how profound. And even my own friend cohort, people saying, the hell is going on? Mm-hmm. Why aren't you calling this out? When did this happen? So in 2000, turns out in 2014,
I'm glad I have beer for this.
Before I was governor, there was a law established that established the legal principles that allow trans athletes in women's sports.
Once you try a comfort hoodie, you can't go back to regular hoodies. They're slightly weighted.
completely align with you. And we've got to own that. We've got to acknowledge it. I don't say that through the prism of politics, because you disagree with same-sex marriage on principle. And so I'm not, and by the way, I value the fact that you're not trying to walk away from that principle, because electorally, that's
I'm in the minority of that.
Yeah, in the minority. And I don't want to walk away from this principle because it's electoral, but it is an issue of fairness. And I think Democrats have lost that.
I think that I wish that we would have done this podcast last week. Because the U.S. Senate just every Democrat voted against that bill. And I'm just telling you, like, again, I'm not one to give Governor Newsom advice. You guys are giving us an 80-20 issue that is just permeating the country. It's such an affront to our senses. And you look at these videos, Governor, because it's not just that it's, okay, you read an article about it, but these young men that are in these sports, they're throwing around girls, and it is an issue of fairness, but it goes to a broader arch narrative. There you go. Which is important.
No, and this, I want to hear this.
Which is this, that the Democrats, you guys will tend to view an incident through an oppressor-oppressed lens.
Yeah.
It's your training.
So again, this is, so I guess, I don't know if either of you guys caught the beginning of my show, but I said that the whole entire reason why Gavin invited Charlie Kirk on, because that was everyone's big question, is why this guy? Because Charlie Kirk is like the boomer conservatives version of like an edgy conservative, right? But he's not actually, so Gavin can just word salad him.
He's more milquetoast than fucking Tim Pool.
Oh God! I had to consider that more, but you're actually right about that, and that's no, you're right, and so this is Gavin's whole. I had a conservative on, now I guess he did have Steve Bannon on the podcast, and that one I would actually be more interested in looking at actually in the future, because I actually have met Steve Bannon before, and he is like a bit more of a, he is a bit more bold, but yeah. But like I said, I mean, Gavin
and that statement comes from a former Tim Pool fan, by the way.
Yeah, I mean,
I freely admit, I used to like Tim.
Well, I used to like Tim when he used to do like when he just used to do like the daily news segments, like in the morning. Once he, that was like, as embarrassing as this is to admit, like when I first started college, and I would be getting ready for, when I would be like getting up at 5 a.m. to get to class, like I would throw that on while I was taking a shower, and that's how I would get like the morning news, so to speak, right? But then once he started to do the late night show, everything kind of started to change. Not right away, but for sure. By like year 2, things had changed. So, yeah. But anyway, well, do we need to see any more of this any more of these
grifters? I mean, they both look like reptiles to me.
Not even pushing back on this piece of shit kind of pisses me off.
I mean, that's what's pissing me. That's what's pissing me off too. And people are like, "Oh, well, they're just having a polite discussion, right?" And it's like, "Well, yeah, that's fair. Like you
can have a polite discussion and call somebody out for their previous bullshit."
Well, I mean, like just using our own show as an example, like when we had Andrew Nelson on the podcast, like Max is I wouldn't say he's anti-cop because I think that's I think that's like I think that's unfair, just to just put Max in that category. But everyone knows that Max, I think out of all of us, is probably most critical of the police, and Andrew Nelson is, he's a former NYPD, police captain. Max and Andrew had a very polite conversation. We all did.
Yeah, that conversation was great.
Mort and I were both there, and yet, Max pushed more on Max pushed back more on Andrew on some policies than Gavin or Charlie have pushed back against each other. I mean, you were there more. Am I off base or
not at all?
Yeah, I mean, so I mean, you can have like conversation, but still push back on someone, and yeah, I'm not seeing it here at all. So, either than the restoration of hardware, shares, this is a pretty cheap, podcast setup. So, and by the way, I mean, I guess I just start doing podcasts in my living room now, since that seems to be, the format of everyone now, just to have like, these mics and a couch.
Yeah, I can't stand this podcast setup, but where at least it started for me, at least the first time that I noticed it, is that fucking industry plant, Bobby Altoff.
Oh fuck! Is that where this whole trend started?
That's where I first noticed it.
I started to notice it, like, I think it was on, like, not Joe Rogan's podcast, but who's like that loudmouth? Oh, Bert Kreischer. When Bert Kreischer started to do his podcast, he like started to do it like on his couch. And
oh yeah, he set up a whole like thing in his backyard in a little shed for a podcast studio, and it was like, I don't know, Bert's a weirdo.
I mean, at the very least, like, get a nice oak desk, or not even like an oak desk, but get a desk like I have, or if you can, get a bookshelf behind you like Eric Bishop. I mean, like, Eric's
I don't think Bert Kreischer reads books, though.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that, Bert is, a high-functioning alcoholic, too, so, like, that, there's that, too, but at least be semi-professional, I guess, is my point, so...
Well, he has to be semi-professional. He's a very successful comedian. The guy is damn funny. But yeah, I did notice that podcast set. Did you ever watch the one he started doing with Bill Burr where they were like, I think it was during beginning of COVID or right before that, they were like sitting in like a set and it was like in front of a camper with Bill Burr.
Oh yeah, two bears, one cave.
Yeah.
That's one Hollywood G title.
Yeah. Which by the way, like
Brokeback Mountain right there.
Yeah, which by the way, Owen Benjamin used to have a podcast called that too. And then Owen like tried to sue Bert for the rights to that name. And yeah, everything kind of spiraled from there. And by the way, speaking about Owen Benjamin, or maybe Owen Benjamin, I don't know, but apparently someone's been disliking Bits and Bones videos now. Do you want to talk a little more about that? Or
it literally started while we were on air last night. We were talking about what we were talking about last night with Sony and Ubisoft, and all of a sudden I see this dislike on our first fucking video. I'm like, where the hell did this come? Who the hell is this hater? And then after the show, I go through all of the videos, and we've got one dislike on every single fucking video.
Wow.
When prior to last night, we literally had probably anywhere between like 1 to 5 likes on all of our videos, and not a single goddamn dislike. I'm like, how the fuck does this happen? Who Cheerios did we fucking piss in?
Well, I know that I believe, and it might have changed. Who knows? But I believe I linked the Bits and Bones channel because Rumble like has this channel affiliates thing where you can like add like related channels to
Appreciated.
So like I think I added you guys on there because like I know that someone's been like disliking all of my stuff for the last few weeks on Rumble, which even if it's a dislike, I appreciate it because it's
I appreciate it too.
It means they had to listen to it
It's
to
interaction
dislike
on
it.
our stuff. So you want to hate on us? Come, bring it on.
So I mean the only thing is like if people like leave negative reviews of the books on Amazon and it's not like a verified review, I will get those taken down because Amazon actually tells us as authors that we should get fake reviews taken down. So but yeah, I mean, thanks for the engagement, I guess.
Yeah, thanks for the engagement.
Yeah, they had to listen to do it. Yeah. Clown.
But we may have a few dislikes for the report on Rumble, but we do have a 4.5 star rating on Spotify and iTunes.
Nice.
So thanks to the podcast gang out there for supporting us. We appreciate it. And for those of you asking about the Patreon, if I'm going to start that up again, well, stay tuned. That's all I'll say. So yeah. Other than that, how's your St. Patrick's Day been, gentlemen? It's weird since it's been on Monday.
It's been doing all right. I got my green beer earlier this afternoon and just chilling out after that.
So are you a Guinness guy more, or what do you do you drink at all, or
I drink on occasion, but not very often. But I'll drink on like a holiday. Today qualifies as a holiday. I'll have like 1 or 2 and then be done. I'll either drink a Guinness when appropriate, which today's appropriate for a Guinness. But for a quote unquote normal holiday, I'll drink the local beer, which I will not name because that would pretty much dox me.
Okay, gotcha. So you're a local guy. I am Irish enough that I like Guinness year round.
Nice.
As you know, I at least I think Mort knows.
Yep.
And unlike, and it's even gotten to the point where like I like Guinness so much that unlike James Bond who likes martinis, John Ryder likes Guinness straight from the tap, right?
That's awesome.
So that's canon now that my character was a Guinness guy. I think Eric Bishop did that for one of his characters in one of his books too. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, it's funny. I like beer, but I do not like whiskey.
I'm more of a Jack Daniels guy myself.
Yeah, I do. I like Jameson's on occasion, but I'm more of like a Jack and Coke guy or
Yeah, I mean
something.
it's either Jack and Coke or Di Serono on the rocks.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean,
or even occasionally Di Serono in coffee. That's tasty.
Oh yeah. Well, and I was also saying this because someone like even before Dip showed up in chat, someone was saying someone was saying you Guinness, and I was like, well, if you drink coffee, like you should at least like Guinness. So because I mean that's what Guinness tastes like to me, is just like black coffee.
I think it's a little better than black coffee.
Yeah, I can see that. But then again, I also don't drink black typically.
It's been a while since I had a Guinness. And no, the last one I had was not an Irish car bomb. I do know the difference.
Yeah.
I drank a dozen of those on one St. Patty's Day, and
oh
that
man,
was a long time ago.
I dated an Irish well, she wasn't like an Irish girl, but she was, she was an Irish descent girl in college, and she she dared me to to go toe to toe with her on car bombs. I should have been sick, but I basically just like passed out and slept like all day and all night. She got mad because she wanted to do stuff, but like I guess I was out cold.
You got car bomb dick and passed out.
Yeah, and I told her, I'm like, well, I'm like, yeah, I drink Guinness, but I don't drink it like all the time, and I don't drink like a ton of it either. So
Right. Even if you just pounded those Guinnesses like you did a car bomb, you would still have a similar reaction.
Oh yeah, well I poured like this glass I poured like at the very beginning of the stream, which was like an hour and 40 minutes ago, and I just now finished it. So
it's not like you're a raging drunk.
Yeah, well, I mean, I did have a Guinness earlier because I posted it on.
Oh dear Lord! 2 beers today, Sam?
Yeah,
you are getting reckless, sir.
I am. I'm getting daring. That's for sure. So I'm getting reckless, and I still, and for once I showed up on time for the podcast.
Showed up on time for my own show.
Yeah,
well, like Max says, you're the star, so the show doesn't start until you show up.
See, it's funny because there have been times where I've been stone cold sober, but I've been like 20 minutes late to the own show. Whereas like tonight I was like buzzed, and I showed up like 5 minutes early. So like maybe I need to
so
drink.
That's the secret, getting you fucking buzzed to get you to show up on time.
Yeah, maybe I need to get buzzed before the show. That's it. I'm kidding, Mom, if you're watching this. So
with beer in hand.
Yeah. So also Maxine is right. Melanie Mac is aggressive and kind of bitchy.
She needs a good screw.
She does. She said happy St. Patrick's Day, and then she said you can't pinch me, faggot. But she said it she said it angrily too, and I'm like, what's with all the aggression? So
I wouldn't pinch her. I'd slap her ass.
yeah, and she does, and she would deserve it. So, but
I'd slap that ass and order her into bed.
I'm sure you would more. I'm sure you would do.
Go ahead, Sam.
I'm sure you would get I'm sure you would get up to all sorts of shenanigans with that goth girl. So
Goddamn right.
But
and even
also,
as short as her hair is currently, I'd still fucking yank that shit.
Well, unlike Max, I'm not gonna shame you. I'm just gonna say bravo, sir. So
And we wouldn't stop until she was finally fucking knocked up and became a mommy.
Yeah, now you're talking. Now you're talking. But anyway, are there any topics you gentlemen wanted to bring up as far as did anything happen in the news today at all?
Not really that I saw. It's a holiday, so it's been pretty quiet from what I've seen.
Yeah, I mean, someone said that I guess Bono made another thing about Trump, which it is I will admit I actually do love U2's music from the 80s. But yeah, obviously Bono has severe Trump derangement syndrome, and so I don't pay much attention to what
he's a Brit, so he can go over to his country and moan about everything.
Well, I mean, he is Irish, but the Irish don't. The true Irish see him as a sellout. So me included. So, but yeah, I don't think anything really happened today other than that. So, well, and then last night on Bits and Bones, we obviously talked about how, the other story too was Activision. One of the CEOs who got Me Too'd.
Bobby Kotick. Well, they tried to Me Too him, but they were unsuccessful. But he did recently retire with a giant golden parachute.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's what happens when cancel culture goes too far. It bites him in the ass. So, and can't say I can't say I feel sorry for Activision.
Not at all.
Also, I guess I don't know if you heard this more. Not that I really care at this point, but I guess GTA 6 is being postponed again.
Not even surprised.
I mean, like I said, I don't know if that's true. I just saw on X, but
I will research it and we will address it next week if that's the case.
I mean, here's the thing, my favorite GTA game is still Vice City. That's not changing. I do like. Now, I will say this. I do like GTA 5. It's a good game. But as soon as they started microtransactioning the shit out of GTA and making a GTA Online, a lot of people, me included, lost interest in the franchise. And with the base game being like $100, dollars supposedly,
that's gonna be a hard sell.
Yeah, like I'm like, oh, they don't. I'm like, oh, okay. They don't want me to play it. Okay.
Nope. They only want to sell it to the hardcores and fuck the casuals.
Well, I mean, the thing it was more is like I was like a hardcore GTA fan, that, like I said, of I guess the 3D era, as they called it, GTA 3, GTA Vice City, and GTA San Andreas. Just because I love the franchise doesn't mean I'm going to be like, doesn't mean I'm going to give them all my money just because it's GTA.
Right.
So.
Oh, you're not going to simp for him, Sam?
No, hell. Not for that franchise, Halo Dad. I will simp for the Max Payne franchise.
Oh, yeah.
So.
At least that's a good one.
Yeah.
I played GTA Vice City, and I think that's the only one that I played. After that, I got too much.
Yeah,
You played GTA before?
Sorry, that was my kid. Like, yeah, you played GTA? Yeah, we all played GTA.
Dad's an old man, so of course he's played it.
Yeah.
Do you like GTA?
Yeah, it was a good game, but now I play other. Well, you're supposed to be in bed. Hold on, guys. I'm gonna get this kid in bed.
This segment of the show brought to you by Dad.
By hashtag Dad Life.
So, and shout out to Joe's Munchkin there. So, let's see.
And everything that I'm currently seeing about the GTA 6 launch is sometime in the autumn.
Yeah, so almost 2026 then.
Right.
Basically. Yeah, well, we were supposed to get. I know they launched the new Indiana Jones game on the Xbox in January. We were supposed to get it in March on like PC and in like PlayStation consoles, but apparently that's going to get pushed back to April, I guess. So
that sucks.
Yeah, I mean, from what I'm told, it's gotten like okay. It's gotten like okay reviews, but it's not great. But I mean, it still is an Indiana Jones game, and I mean, like I love the movies for sure. Also, Harrison Ford in 1923 is fantastic. 1923 is better than Yellowstone. So if you have Paramount Plus, anyone watching this would definitely recommend going and watching that.
Nice. And the one thing that I am excited about as far as gaming wise this week is to see the fallout of the Assassin's Creed Shadows game that's coming out this week. It's gonna be a clusterfuck.
Oh, is that supposed to come out this week?
That's what I'm hearing. I'll confirm it right now, but that's what I've been reading.
Yeah, I like I said last week, everyone's trying to copy the success of Ghost of Tsushima, which, funny enough,
March 20th.
Okay, yeah. Well, funny enough, like Ghost of Tsushima, like as much as people want to, shit on how Sony has no titles, like that is the one Sony title that like everyone's been trying to copy now since, and well, from what I'm hearing from earlier reviews, like Ghost of Tsushima is still the better game.
Right, that's also what I'm hearing.
So
it's just funny that Ubisoft is literally pissing off an entire fucking country that isn't fucking Anglo because they decided to put a black man as a samurai.
well, like Japan, like
because Japan is fucking pissed.
Yeah, well, like the thing about Japan though is Japan is like none of the woke stuff from the West made over Japan. That's why anime was like outselling the U.S. comic industry for like
right
for so long. Which is sad because like, I grew up going into like American comic bookstores, but yeah. Like I can see why anime is, becoming a thing. So
I am back.
Good for you. Oh, good for you, Joe.
Welcome back, Joe.
Jesus, that beer just now hitting you? Getting mouthy, Sam?
Goddamn right.
Hell yeah.
No, I mean, I would be willing. I would be willing to go grab like a third because it's St. Patty's Day, so why not? But
why not?
I don't want to leave you. I don't want to leave you to.
Oh God. The podcast burns down.
If you're gonna drink
Sam
too much,
goes to get a beer.
At least give me fucking mod powers.
I mean, yeah, that's. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, we actually talked about that last night. I keep forgetting that Rumble doesn't save that you have to do every time. So, damn it, Rumble. Okay, yeah, you should have mod powers, so I'll be right back. So, yeah, you gentlemen, talk amongst yourselves.
Oh shit,
Alrighty.
That's fucking trouble.
Oh God, here we go. Let's go, Mort.
Fucker actually gave me fucking mod powers. Holy shit. Yeah, just looking over early week topics for next week's Bits and Bones, and everything that I'm seeing for Assassin's Creed Shadows that comes out on the 20th, it's gonna be fucking wild. It's probably gonna be our main topic on Sunday.
Nice. Assassin's Creed, I never finished a whole game of theirs, but I tried playing a few of them, and I was like, damn, definitely got to put time in for that.
Yeah, I played and finished Black Flag, which it's the pirate one, and that's pretty fun.
I think that's the one I got for free on 360.
Yeah, probably, and I have others of the franchise, but Black Flag is the only one that I've actually finished.
Nice. What was the most is that the most recent one they did?
No, I think the most recent one was Origins, I think.
They need to do one like set in the Genesis 6 world. Have a Nephilim. Get it done.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
They'd fuck that one up too, though.
They would. I know of a guy who was working on doing like a Noah virtual reality game. I heard him on this podcast with Rob Skiba, and he's like, yeah, I'm developing this game about the Nephilim, and it's going to be VR. So I was like, dude, that's actually really cool. And he's got a YouTube page. I mean, it's the grandiose stories of Genesis, but hey, why not have fun with it? You're going to take the Book of Enoch and illustrate it for us? That's all we ever wanted.
Apparently, previous to Shadows, the most recent one was Valhalla. Either that or Mirage. I can't make heads or tails of the release dates.
Oh, gotcha.
Yep, Mirage was the last one in 2023.
Damn, so they're not due for another game for a while then, huh?
Well, they're not, but we get Shadow this week, so 2 years between games. I'm not sure if that's enough time, honestly, but what do I know?
Yeah. Isn't there a new God of War movie coming or game?
Oh, pretty sure there's one that's in development, but I'm not entirely sure. I think that from what I've heard from Good Brother Nash is the next one is Egypt.
Yeah, see, that one sounds really interesting to me.
Yeah, I'll definitely look into it. It's a matter of how woke will that be, and if it's too damn woke, I won't touch it, unfortunately.
Right. Well, I would expect some of that weirdo stuff to be in there, 'cause that's what Egyptians did. They were a bunch of weirdos.
Well, the thing, it's going to be one where some of it's going to be appropriate for the setting, and then some of it's not.
Right. They're definitely going to overdo it, for sure. So, well, how is he brewing that beer or what?
The cripple, the other cripple ran away. What the fuck? Got up from the computer and fucking walked away. What the hell?
I'm kind of jealous. I wouldn't mind having a Guinness. I haven't drank a beer in a couple of years though either, so.
So what you're saying is you'd be a lightweight and you'd be one and done.
Oh, I could probably do two. Get through with two. But that would definitely do me in. Especially Guinness. Those are heavy ass beers.
Definitely. Those fuckers are almost fucking meals.
But they are tasty for a dark beer, and I'm not a big dark beer guy, to be honest.
Yeah, Guinness is about the only one that I like.
And it has to be cold. I don't know how those Brits can drink it piss warm. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't care what beer you're drinking. Piss warm beer is just nasty.
I mean, just beyond frozen, just beyond slush, what I need. That cold to make your gums like tingle.
Yeah, I can get behind that.
I wonder what these guys. I'm playing a firefight on Halo while I'm talking to you, and I also have my headphones on my game. So anyone on mic can probably hear me talking. Like, what's this guy talking about?
Nothing wrong with gaming talk. Just don't say the gamer word.
I just got smashed by an elite. Here we go. Yeah, the last beer I drank was probably Christmas.
Yeah, I had one earlier today. Like I was telling Sam, I had a nice green beer.
Oh yeah. What did you use for beer?
The local stuff.
Oh, okay.
You know
yeah. You were saying that.
Yeah, you know where I'm from, so you know what I'm talking about.
Yep. Local's always good. I used to out in Boise. We had a couple local places, shockingly, that were decent. They had this stuff called triple pie.
Nice.
Oh boy. And that was good for it was like a Widmer's Hefeweizen, however you say that shit. That German beer.
Nice.
Kind of like a Blue Moon type. This was like Blue Moon, but better.
That's cool.
Especially out of the draft. That shit would mess us up. Good beer. Mean hangover, though. Oh.
Yeah, thankfully the local stuff doesn't give me too much of a hangover.
Well, I like to get carried away with drinking, so that was probably my fault for the hangover.
Yeah, well, then that's where I've got to be careful because my biological father's side of the family definitely known for being terrible drunks. So I got to be careful.
Oh, I gotcha. Hey, at least you know to be careful.
Facts.
Yeah, back in Boise, I was a complete drunk.
Alrighty, gentlemen, I am back, and wow, I feel bad now.
Welcome back, Cripple.
Why? Did you stop and take a piss too?
Well, no, well, no, not yet. I heard Joe say that he was a complete drunk back in Boise, though, and I feel bad because I'm a shit.
Uh-oh.
What happened?
Thanks, Rumble. As I was about to say, I'm about to crack open my my second Guinness of the night. So
nice.
And it's actually my third of the day because I had one earlier this afternoon with a buddy of mine. But it is St. Patty's Day, so
as long as you started drinking afternoon, we're all good.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm not one of my retired neighbors who at 8 a.m. in the morning goes, "Hey Sam, you want a beer?" And it's like it's 9 a.m. I'm going to Dunkin' for coffee. So
yeah, I kind of need my coffee. As you know, I need my coffee for lunch because if I don't have my coffee, I'm kind of an asshole. Well, I'm more of an asshole than I already am.
Nice.
Yeah. And wow, that exploded. So terrific. But
That's not good.
Fortunately, that was it was on my I guess share mat, so didn't get any on the carpet, so that's good.
Say as long as you didn't get any beer on the electronics or the carpet, we're good.
Yeah. But
Dude, I was telling Mort, I was like, I'm kind of jealous. I wish I had a Guinness right now too. I can't even go to the store and get one now. They're all closed.
They make Guinness Zero now, I guess.
Guinness Zero? That sounds fucking terrible. What's that? What's the zero supposed to be about?
0 calories or some shit?
Zero alcohol.
Come on, I need calories. Zero. Well, what's the fucking point there?
I mean,
I might as well drink O'Doul's.
Yeah, fair enough.
At that point, you may as well fucking drink fucking Natty Ice.
Yeah, or
Natty Ice, come on.
Or Bud Light at that point. So.
Dude, I used to drink Red Dog by the 30-pack. I think I probably bought the last 30-pack of Red Dog available in New Hampshire when they finally went under.
But even Red Dog was better than fucking Natty Ice.
Yeah, that's true. It was smooth. Uncommonly smooth, as stated on the can.
Yeah, and then with Budweiser, because I never drank Bud Light unless it was given to me, but Budweiser, I could never get hammered on Budweiser ever.
Oh, really?
I mean, I could, I guess, if I
You didn't want to?
If I had a 6-pack and one after another, I could, but pacing myself, yeah, I never could. So I could never even get a buzz. So anyway, though, gents, this kind of got salvaged. So cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. I was telling Mort, I was like, I'm playing a firefight on Halo 5 while I'm talking to you guys. And I'm sure the people on mic are like, what the fuck is this guy babbling about? But nobody else is on mic, ever on this, so screw it. Gotta have one warm-up game.
Yeah, how active is the Halo fan base that you're playing these days?
Well, everyone seems to be on Halo Infinite, which is great. There's a lot of good options on there. The fans seem like every other video game community, twisted and very conflicted. You got some people in Halo
gamer words.
What's that?
I said, and they like saying gamer words.
Yeah. It is what it is. I mean, since I've only been playing it for, I don't know, a little over a year and a half, and I've gone back and watched when all the games were released and how upset people were about not getting what they wanted out of the game. Just the stuff we talk about already. These fans are never happy.
Yeah, I mean, it is true that video game fans are really ever happy, but there's a difference between gamers never being happy and then corpos stuffing in agendas into
yeah, it's all mixed up. Yeah.
So, and then even when companies do make people happy with franchises, with Red Dead Redemption, somehow that same company always manages to fuck things up eventually. So,
I think I had asked you guys about that game before. Somebody recommended the sequel, Red Dead Redemption 2. He's like, that game was great.
Yeah, Red Dead 2
you
is
should
great.
play that one. Yeah.
Yeah,
and I was like,
Red Dead 2
is besides the Max Payne series, might be one of the greatest games I've ever played. So, but I'm also a huge fan of the Western genre just in general. So
nice. Yeah, it's this guy, because I pick my kid up at school, and it's like right around the corner, and he lives down the road from me. He's a guy like a couple years younger than me, but he's got like 5 kids. So he's a totally different lifestyle than me, but he does play video games. And I was like, yeah, I play Halo. He's like, dude, I play Red Dead Redemption. I was like, oh, I've heard about that game. He's like, the sequel is way better. I was like, oh, I play like 7 Halo games. But yeah, he did recommend that to me.
Yeah, I mean, like I'm not one of these people who thinks that like gamers need to play, whatever is popular, just at the exact moment just to be trendy. I mean, we all have our franchises that we love and whatnot. Like, I can still play Knights of the Old Republic for hours, even though that game is over 20 years old now, and I've played it like 15 times.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm sure I know Mortheous still plays The Witcher 3. Like,
Yep. I make a point to actually play all 3 games back to back at least once a year.
wow, that's
because you can save Geralt from Witcher 1 and have him appear in Witcher 2 with all of the tattoos and shit that you get from Witcher 1.
Oh, really? I did not know that.
And you can do the same from Witcher 2 to Witcher 3. There's a tattoo you get in Witcher 2 that if you don't get it removed in Witcher 2, it shows up early game in Witcher 3.
Huh. So the games do connect.
They do connect, but unfortunately, as far as I know, the only way to do the transfer of saving is on PC. I don't think it's possible on console.
Interesting.
Seems like there's a lot of stuff you guys can do on your PCs that we can't do.
Well, I mean, I'm a console guy too, Joe. So yeah,
right. Like I see this cursed Halo thing on YouTube all the time. I'm like, I looked into it and I was like, oh, they're just taking stuff from other games and throwing it in Halo. They do the same thing with like Fortnite. Master Chief is over there in Fortnite, and they're just taking characters and items and putting it in the game. They're just doing a forge, and then they're having fun. They're creatively doing what they do. I get it, but I can't experience that on a console, which is fine. Glad they make YouTube videos about it.
Yeah, well, I mean,
you're a PlayStation guy, right?
Yeah. Well,
Nice.
Fortnite is its own thing, kind of entirely that I don't understand necessarily.
I don't think anyone understands it. They just
Yeah.
play it just because.
Yeah, unless you're a kid or something like that. So.
I mean, I played a little bit of it with my kid. There's like a Tokyo gun game that's kind of fun, but there's like a lot of different games on there too. With like Roblox as well. My kids play the crap out of that.
Oh yeah, yeah. Roblox is huge.
Yeah, they're playing like Strongest Battleground. Oh, can we look this up and this up? I was like, dude, what? But they are pretty good at it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I never really played it that much, so like I'm not familiar, but I guess like Roblox usually have a big problem with like everything being like, you know, like loot crate and pay to play based, so kids were just like running up their parents' credit cards with, you know, that stuff. So
Oh yeah, I came across a little bit of that problem when they were playing it on their tablet. But it wasn't just with Roblox. It was they were getting apps that you'd have to pay for, and I was like, "What the?"
oh yeah.
And I'm like, "I didn't buy him this damn tablet." And I told my wife, I was like, "Stop! Tell your friend to stop buying my kids tablets." I wasn't gonna buy them.
Did your kids get like an iPad or like one of those Kindle Fire?
It was one of those Amazon Fire tablet things.
Yeah. Those things are like those things are cheap.
Yeah, they are. I have one I use for a reader to get like ebooks and stuff, which reminds me I need to re-verify that thing. But
Nice. Yeah,
it's good. It's good for a reader, not for a gaming thing. No. Fuck.
Oh yeah. No, but those things aren't really even good to like watch anything either, you know, to be honest. So
Yeah, it's not a very good thing. I was like, might have to upgrade to a Samsung tablet. I actually like Samsung's product a lot.
yeah, they're not bad.
We have a big Samsung TV here, so I've been pretty happy with it. And I have a phone through Metro PCS, which is basically T-Mobile cheap version. And they have Samsung tablets there. I was like, dude, hook me up.
Yeah, well, I mean, usually you can get like an iPad or, you know, like or an iPhone or yeah, like a Galaxy with you know, one of your
Oh yeah, I splurged on buying video game stuff this year with my taxes. I was gonna get a tablet, but I messed that up. I got an Elite Series controller instead.
But then you decided to go for but then you did well, I mean, that's probably worth more of your investment that I would say. So
Yeah, it's personally, yeah. As far as like for the family, it would probably keep the boys pretty entertained too. If I could manage to find the proper controls for that.
yeah. Also, more I see you retweeting Sydney Sweeney, sir.
It had to be done. It hit my TL and it had to be retweeted.
Yeah. Yeah, no, yeah. Yeah, no, I know, but
Because
are you
I knew the Gooner Bros would appreciate it.
well, you know, I know you're just looking at her hair, right?
No, I'm looking at her cross that she's wearing.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
She's a good Catholic girl.
Uh-huh. No, yeah, I mean, that's all the good Catholic girls say. So
That's what they all say, huh? That's what all the girls here in Boston say.
I mean, my
They're
first
good Catholic
girlfriend
girls.
was a Catholic girl, so.
Hey, if you like Catholic chicks, come to Boston. We're full of them. They're all over the place.
Yeah, well, I mean, I actually I do need to come to Boston because you're there, Max is there, John Guarnieri lives there too, and
Why does that
yeah,
name sound familiar?
he's the host of Spear Talk. He's been on my show before, and he's also the security manager for Shinedown and Motley Crue. So
Okay.
yeah, he's like one of like he's like one of the few like actually famous people who I'm actually friends with, which is cool. I mean, I say famous, but he's like, he's really down to earth too. So
Nice.
So
yeah, good old Boston's an interesting place.
I mean, yeah, I mean, it's, Boston is part of the founding of this country. So
Yeah, Plymouth is right down there, a little bit south of the city. I actually want to take my kids there, just because the historical value of it and shit. I went there as a kid to learn about. I know that people don't like the founding fathers too much, but this is a little further before that.
well, we love the founding fathers here at Right to Offend Media.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure you've heard all the conspiracies about from all the right wing nut jobs saying that the founding fathers were pieces of trash. And hey, look, they weren't all perfect. I get it.
No, nobody's fucking perfect.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Well,
well, the left hates the founding fathers, and like now like the far right hates
part of the right
founding.
hates them too. Yeah.
Yeah, part of like the quote unquote right hates them because like, oh my god, the founding fathers are associated with Jews, and like apparently like that is the one thing I will admit that is like a little weird to me, is that like I never I'm not saying that anti-Semitism is like super like is like super relevant, but it is more relevant now than I thought it would be. And and that's not a good thing. Don't misunderstand. But like it does shock me how much like anti-Jew stuff I just see casually like on the internet now. So
Right. Yeah. There's definitely a lot of it. I mean, there's no denying that.
and breaking news, I guess Trump says he's going to release the unredacted JFK files. Well,
Go.
What? I mean, okay, cool.
Well, what I was gonna say is, well, let's wait and see about that because we were supposed to get the unredacted Epstein files and then we didn't. So, and I mean, if you want my if you want my super controversial um opinion, like at this point, what would releasing the JFK files do? Everyone who was actually
Everyone's dead.
involved, yeah, yeah, everyone who could have even been involved, like minus Bobby Jr. and he was a kid,
Right.
but like anyone who was actually like involved is like dead. So, yeah.
Yeah, and then the Epstein thing's a joke.
Yeah, so I mean, I guess that's a thing, and then let's see what else is. Let's see what else is trending.
They're still pissed at Elon. Everyone's still pissed at Elon.
Yeah, well, I mean, ooh, this one is actually good. Trump revokes Secret Service protection for Biden's children.
Good.
Yeah. Yeah, so I guess crackhead can't molest kids with Secret Service info. Conor McGregor went into the White House today. So that was a thing.
All right, gentlemen, I got a dip.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, if Mort's got a dip, I think I'm gonna call it a night here. We've been going for.
You've been going for 2.5 hours.
Yeah,
I think I jumped in a half hour late.
Yeah, we've been going for 2.5 hours, which for a Monday is not bad. So, Joe, any final thoughts you would like to say?
No, I think I'm all set. We will see everyone on Sunday night for me. I'll probably be in chat on Wednesday night, on the Wednesday night show.
Yes, indeed, sir. And if you ever want to join in, just let us know, and we would be happy to have you on. So
I might join you on one of those shows.
Yeah,
sounds
man,
like it could be fun.
You're always welcome, and I appreciate you popping in here tonight as well. So
thanks for the invite.
Yeah, no problem. So, and on that note, ladies and gentlemen, we will see you on Wednesday night. We're gonna wrap things up here, but until then, have a good night. God bless. God save this great nation, and God for legacy in that order. I am Sam Whitfield. You can follow me on X at @70_NDC. You can also follow me on Instagram at 70_NDC. And all my links are in the description. And you can also follow Mortheous at Mortheous and Joe at JoeFish80, I believe, right?
Yes.
Alrighty.
Something like that.
Yep. So we will see you Wednesday for the serious show, I guess. And until then, take care, folks.
Have a good Paddy's Day.
The right to offend is not some pesky little part of freedom of speech that we have to put up with. It is the heart and soul and lungs of freedom of speech. It is the coursing lifeblood of human progress. It is the instigator of liberty and modernity and science and understanding. What a laughing stock today's student leaders are, that they can so casually dismiss the right to be offensive without realizing that their lovely, enlightened lives are the gift of individuals who gave offense. Offensiveness is not just something we have to begrudgingly accept. Offensiveness is the motor of human progress.
Thank you for watching the Whitfield Report live on the Right to Offend Media Network. Make sure to check out Sam's books on Amazon, Audible, and Kindle. You can follow Sam on X at SamW_NGC and the Right to Offend Media Network at RTO Media. Like, comment, subscribe, and share with your friends. And until next time, God bless. God save this great nation. God, freedom, legacy, in that order.